Hello, 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 everybody. How is everybody doing today? I'm really happy to be back home, to be back in my routine, and to be here on this group sharing with you. It is 8 o'clock in Florida, and it is crazy humid today, and I'm sitting outside because I thought it was a good idea, and now I'm regretting it. But that's that. This is where I'm at, so I'll just be do my best to be fully present with this weather here, sticky and I don't know, humid. But anyways, I'm gonna be here present with you because I am looking forward to sharing with you about this awesome journey of transformation that I've embarked on, and all the sort of reflections it's brought to me about the home life and the approach of sacred interiors in general. It's been quite deep and profound, and I was laughing because my friend Jamie, who responded to my post about this live being titled, what I've learned after 120 days of not eating. She's like, people are going to think you're not eating. People are going to get the wrong message. And so to clarify, I've not been eating solid food. I have been drinking only. And many times your mind will freak out and think you really are not eating at all. But still, it's a huge, huge, huge undertaking. And one that has been, like I said, extremely profound. So it's been 120 days. Yesterday I was thinking about all the reflections I wanted to share with you today. And I wasn't really counting the days until yesterday. I'm like, let me go back and remember the first day I started. And I counted and I found out it was 120 days, which in the Kundalini tradition, it's big. We have different sort of cycles that we teach or do practice meditations for 40 days, 90 days, or 120 days. And it's a big deal because by the 120th day, you really have now fully planted a new habit that you wanted to create, and it has now become a part of you. It's like you learn to embody that change that you set yourself to do. So it takes 40 days for that habit to kind of be really planted in you. And then it takes 90 days for it to blossom, for that seed to blossom, and then 120 days for it to grow and just really be like a tree. So it's kind of really neat that I realized that yesterday because I really do honestly feel that it's been transforming. And so in a nutshell, I could go on and on talking to you about what that liquid diet was about and, how cleansing it's been, how detoxifying it's been. There's also a lot more to it than just what I eat and what I don't eat. But, in terms of just spiritual practice and daily commitments of physical movement and emotional processing and spiritual practices and ceremonies and all kinds of things. But one of the biggest things that not eating for 120 days has taught me is how full of shit we are, literally, okay? And I just really hope that everybody's okay with the graphic of my comment, because it's true, and I really want to hold space with genuine and real sharing, because it has been transformative, and it's not always pretty to hear what transformation, what goes through someone's life or what someone goes through when they're going through transformation. It's like seeing all the pretty design pictures when a project is finished, but not being willing to see the before pictures. The before pictures are usually not that pretty, and that's okay. So I really want to share that one of the biggest realizations I've had with this process has been, this understanding that we have so much toxicity and that there's so much shit we carry inside of us. Our body is literally full of it. And we go on with our lives carrying this toxicity, carrying this baggage, carrying this contamination in our body, expecting to train our mind to be more positive, expecting to be our mind to be more focused, more sharp, and all these things. But in reality, the environment of our physical body is not supporting us to get there. So we might, create all these New Year's resolutions, and we might create all these goals and all these intentions we might plant or visualize or create a vision board. I don't know. All these really superficial ways of tackling what we want. But if there's no physical change in the environment, the chances of achieving that are close to zero. So it's like when people have a bunch of clutter in their house, and the way they think they're going to go deal with their clutter is they're going to go to the Container Store or Home Goods, and they're going to buy prettier basket to put their shit in. It just doesn't make any sense, you guys. It doesn't make any sense. So understanding that has been really powerful for me, because as I have allowed my body during these 120 days to feel what it's like to be purified, to be clean, to be, a lot more steady and a lot more light, a lot more spacious. Of course, at the same time, what I've had to do is process a lot of other emotional junk, a lot of other emotional shit that had to also be eliminated. And a lot of other spiritual even beliefs that I had to shed and let go of. A lot of thoughts, a lot of beliefs that I was holding on to that did not serve me anymore. And being so light, creating this light environment of my body has allowed me such a quicker version, such a quicker, it's given me such a quicker path to release that junk, right? And so this is what I was thinking as far as the environment of our homes, and how are we expecting to truly get to that next level of who we want to be as women, as mothers, as wives, as people, if our physical environment is full of junk and it's full of shit. It's not gonna work, you guys. It doesn't matter how pretty your baskets are to hold all your stuff. The fact that you always need to buy more and more and more baskets to store more stuff means you have too much shit. Pretty simple, right? I almost feel like I could make a sticker out of that. Like a car sticker, what do they call it? A bumper sticker, something like that. But yeah, it's been really powerful for me to understand that. And I know that I have always really worked with that concept, but experiencing it in my body has been different, has been completely different. And please bear with me as the words kind of flow through, because I've also really, while I have been sharing some of this process with some close people, I haven't really talked openly about it through my business and through like you guys, through my Facebook group or my Instagram or my email list or all like my clientele, because I've been really wanting to assimilate it, integrate it before I can share more about it. And so this is the day where I am willing to do that, but the words still need to sort of come through, because it's been such a profound experience that it's not so easy to put in words. So that aspect of recognizing that the more toxicity, the more junk we have in our environment, the least chances of processing who we are, what we feel, what we think, what we need to let go of, the least chances of doing that, are there. So that's been something really important that I've realized. And then the next part has also been about realizing how much of a sort of dark tunnel we learn to live in when we are so contaminated, when we are so full of clutter in our body and in our homes. It's like we learn to live like that, and we settle for living like that. It's like when you're bloated and you just feel like yucky, and you have migraines and you feel that density of the body, and we get used to that as if it's normal, as if we can just figure out how to live with that. But little do we know that there are other possibilities of feeling what it's like to be spacious, what it's like to be open, what it's like to be light, what it's like to be an empty vessel that is full of opportunities and possibilities, you guys. This has really taken me to the next level as far as just as far as like my devotion in my life goes, as far as my faith, my hope, my passion, so much, you guys, so much. So what I wanted to share with you is that understanding, I'm playing here with my screen, that understanding that allowing ourselves to be pure, allowing our environments to be more pure, more decluttered, more spacious, opens us up to become this vessel of love, opens us up to become this vessel to allow that inner part of us that is hiding under all the junk to rise up and show up, right? It's like if you are able to just peel the layers of stuff that has been holding you back and really dig out the more empowered version of you, the more faithful version of you, the more authentic version of you, wouldn't you want that? Like, who wouldn't want that? But we don't even know that that's a possibility because we are so contaminated. We have so much shit that holds us back. Literally, again, in our body, in our homes, everywhere. So I don't know if this is as mind-blowing to you as it's mind-blowing to me, even though this is my work and I deal with clutter in people's homes all the time. But to me, this only took me to the next level of I really, really, really feel responsible to share with you that you do not need to live like that one more day. You do not need to settle for living with all that junk around you and all that clutter that makes you so unhappy, so stressed out, and so unfulfilled. So I really want to invite you to take a deeper look at yourself, at your health, at your body, at what you're eating, the mindfulness that you put into what you consume, and then taking that a step further in seeing what your environment is about. Because I was watching this documentary the other day from Greg Braden. I don't know if you guys know Greg Braden. He's a scientist and he's awesome. And what he was sharing is not anything new. It's been out for many, many years. But I was seeing it with new eyes. And he was talking about how science shows that the atoms sort of change themselves depending on the environment that they live in, right? It's like, you know, also you'll see other studies of like water, like Dr. Emoto's water studies, amazing in terms of he would take a drop of water and study it under a microscope after it's been, placed in an environment where people are saying words like, I hate you, you're stupid, like really mean words. And then he would look at that drop of water under a microscope and it would look like mold, rotten, gross, black. And then another drop of water would be placed in an environment where people would tell it, you know, I love you, you're beautiful, I appreciate you. They would just say more loving things. And that same drop of water under the microscope would actually look like a beautiful snowflake. I don't know if you guys know about that, but if you don't, check it out because there's beautiful images online about these studies. But what I was thinking about was, we are the atoms of our home. Our home is our environment. We are literally absorbing the energy of what our environment looks like and changing every second of the day. So we have this choice of changing for good, changing to improve, changing to become a snowflake, or becoming moldy and rotten. And more than that, your kids, your spouses, your pets have that same effect. Their atoms, their DNA, their body, their memory, their biomemory, their brain, all of it is absorbing the energy where they're at. Is that not enough to tell you that you need to get rid of your shit? I mean, if that doesn't do it for you, then I don't know what will. So my invitation is to be so strict and so strict might not be the word. I get carried away with the strictness because I do need the strictness. That's part of like, I thrive on that structure and not everybody does. But I do want it to be taken seriously. I want it to be taken seriously because it should be beyond things looking pretty. It should be beyond things looking organized. It should be beyond stuffing your closet with stuff just so that your in-laws can come over and the place looks okay, but all you did was sort of cover it up. The shit's still there. I really want you to take it serious, to take care of your home with more reverence, because this is where you live. I had this conversation with my mom the other day, and it was a really beautiful conversation because, you know, a lot of personal things that I won't share just to give her the privacy, but we were talking about food, and what I was saying was the way I see how we can break patterns in a deeper way beyond setting goals. Because you guys, when we set goals in shallow ways, that's where we can't keep up with them. When we say, like, hear the sound of this. If I say I want to declutter my home so that it looks nice, so I can have some dinners with my family. I want to declutter my dining room so that I can have some dinners, sit down at my dining table with my family. All right, that sounds kind of nice. Sure, like, let's do that. And then I don't know how many months, years have gone by and you've never actually done it. But when you can understand that the clutter in that dining room is actually transmuting and changing the food your kids are eating and affecting their biomemory, when you can understand that there's energy that those things is sending your way that is negative energy because it's toxic, when you understand that that dining table relates directly to your finances and your prosperity, and the more cluttered it is, the less money you're going to have, which the less money you have, the less chances of helping someone else you have, and the less chances of bringing to your kids what you want for them there are. Do you understand what I mean? Digging deeper into the reason why you want to do something so that you don't get caught up in the procrastination cycle of wanting to do it, but not actually doing it. So that's kind of an important aspect of what I realize in terms of the reverence and the respect that can happen when you are able to see that area in a way that is beyond just the aesthetics, and in a way that is just beyond the shallow decision of, I'm just going to have a nice dinner with my family. Sure, that's important, but there's a deeper reason for that. You want to have a healthy dinner with your family because that's your chance to appreciate each other, to see each other, to validate each other, to share. This is a time where you get to pour your beautiful energy onto the food and nourish them beyond the physical. So I know that a lot of it might sound out there for some of you maybe, or maybe it just will deeply click as deeply as it's clicked with me. I don't freaking know, but I have to tell you that. I have to tell you that I don't take it seriously. I don't take it not seriously. I do take it seriously, and I want you to take it seriously as well, because I have seen the changes in people. I have seen people be able to go from feeling depressed, anxious, flustered, and like a failure because of the state of their home, to thriving, being excited, being focused, being motivated because of the new state of their home, and being more spacious, more open, more free. I have seen people make decisions about their life that has changed their future. They've made decisions about their marriage because they no longer tolerate the way they're being treated by someone. After you set the bar low in the way your physical environment looks, what do you expect your inner bar to be treated? What do you expect that to be? Everything that is outside of us does not come from outside of us. It is merely a direct reflection of what we have inside. So if your home is a disaster, without any judgment, simply by observing, simply by witnessing, simply by being in that space of watching it, can you go to a place of recognizing it, of loving it, and of having so much love and respect for yourself and for your family to make a change? That's my invitation for you. That's my deep sharing. And I almost get like really emotional about it too, because we haven't been taught or told enough how beautiful we are, how meaningful, how valuable we are, and what right we have to have support, to have validation, and to have fulfillment in our life. fulfillment isn't something that we need to keep looking for outside of us. We need to do it within ourselves. And if we can achieve something that seems so overwhelming and so impossible, like not eating for 120 days, living off of liquid only for 120 days. I never thought that would be possible. I never really did, ever. I never in 1,000 years thought I could do that. And I could. Yes, I cheated. I did. There were days where I cheated. There were days where I traveled and I couldn't keep up with my routine. But what I learned through that was the beauty of not blaming and shaming myself and entering this guilt trip that created self-sabotage and that would get in the way so that I didn't accomplish my goal. What it taught me was to be humble, to surrender, and to not give up. And I want to share that with you because I don't want you to give up. I would like for you to not get into the shame, guilt trip and let go of the past. Literally start fresh. I just had this conversation with a new student in my program today where we had a confusing beginning of our agreement and of our program. And my words were literally, how about we start fresh? Let's start over again. Let's start over right now. And it was like there was this relief in her. I could see it. She just took a deep breath and I could see her sigh. And it was like, yes, I can start fresh. Holding on to all these clutter for so long, but right now you can decide to start fresh. We never give up. It's never impossible. It's never too late. All of that is bullshit. Only trying to keep us stuck in the same pattern and the same way of living. So I want to invite you to take yourself seriously, to remember one of the shifts in my masterclass, if you have seen it, to remember that you are divine, that you are perfect in your imperfection, and that you always have more possibilities than you think. When we have all these blind spots, it's like we are in this tunnel and we're not seeing beyond. I just heard a beautiful sister talk about this today in one of her live videos about helping women be empowered to just really be more. And she does a beautiful work. And she was talking about blind spots. And it really resonated with me because this is where I was 120 days ago. I could not think that I would be able to do this change in my diet and that I would be able to not just do this change in my diet, but have this change in my evolution, have this change in my consciousness from taking on such a drastic and extreme, to what some might seem extreme, measure. But the fact that I can do it and the fact that I could do it has brought so much inner love and so much more empowerment and so much more humbleness. It has opened me up to understand that we are so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And if we are willing to take a little step forward or a big step forward, if we are willing to just move forward, even if it's a quarter of an inch, I always say this in my yoga classes, if you move a quarter of an inch, that's all you need. But when we put that message out there and we're willing to do a little bit of that work, the universe brings us back what we're setting, the intention that we're setting. The universe responds. And it's our energy, it's our intention, not our perfection that gets us there. Because we are already perfect in all our imperfection. So I hope that this is helpful for you guys. I really want you to leave tonight with the message of cultivating more devotion for your sacred home, more devotion for yourself, more respect, more love, more for you, because you are worthy of it, because you deserve it. And if you are ready to make that change, if you are ready to also be supported in that process, I want you to reach out to me, because I am here for that and I am passionate about it and I love doing that. And I love seeing these women transform their lives by creating a sacred interior. It is powerful. So I want to remind you of that, because another really big thing I've learned with this big challenge of 120 days on a liquid diet is that we don't need to do this stuff by ourselves. Having had my coach's help and having had a tribe support me in my process, other people who were doing the same exact process support me, hold me accountable, be there when I was feeling not good enough, be there when I was feeling like giving up, be there when I was celebrating my success, is priceless. I realize how much I have done in my life by myself, and I am very proud of that. But I also realize I have suffered unnecessarily by not having the courage to get help, by not having the love for myself, to invest in myself, to take care of those things with someone who has already done it before, who has already followed the processes, and who has already succeeded at it. Why waste so much time going through 1,000 different decluttering systems that you're going to start and not finish if you know that there is another option, if you know that there's someone holding your hand through the process to get you there? And that's what I'm here to do. So I want to leave you with that. I want to invite you to check out my schedule if you want to have a free breakthrough session. Even if you don't get an enrollment, even if you end up not getting invited to my program during our calls, book a call. Let's get on the phone and chat about where you're at. I promise you that regardless of the outcome, I pour my heart out during these calls, and I call them breakthrough sessions because I know that there are breakthroughs you can get out of it without any expectation of enrolling in my program and investing in the program if that's not where you're at, and I totally respect that. But I hope that you can be willing to make that real change, because 95% of you guys who are here on this group are here because of clutter. And I don't take that lightly, and I don't want you to continue the pattern of looking at all these pretty images on Pinterest, feeling like you'll never get there because your house is a disaster. And then all the things that also triggers. All the addictions. Oh my God. Okay, I was going to go, but no, I have to talk about this. Recognizing the patterns of addiction through this diet has been out of this world. I have seen how I have used food to suppress my emotions for so long. How we have used so many different external things to suppress how we feel. How many of you go to TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, and buy $100 here, $80 there, $200 here on knickknacks and cute little quotes and cute little vases and flower arrangements, and before you know it, you have so many of those things, and yet your house still looks like shit? Sorry, right? Because this is, if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be on this group. So, and maybe not everyone's house looks like that, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't have the intention of a sacred home being a part of where you're at. Today, I'm talking specifically about those of you who do have that clutter issue, which again, I would say is 90% of you. When you come into my group and you answer those questions, I now have seen 90% of you have that issue, that frustration. So I want you to bring some awareness into what shopping, what buying more decor stuff, what accumulating stuff is making you suppress. What are the things in your life you're not dealing with that you're throwing under the rug by doing those things? Or maybe it's just easier to drink yourself to sleep at night before, after the kids go to bed, before tidying up or starting to do anything else because you're just so overwhelmed you don't know where to start. I have been there. I don't say that with judgment. I have been there where I have drank myself to sleep night after night after night, not necessarily because of the clutter in my home, but because of the clutter in my heart and the clutter in my mind. And so take the time to reflect on that, and take the time to have the courage to see yourself with true eyes, without judgment, and make a choice. Because this is also not an all or nothing approach. In between where you're at and where you want to be, what are you doing to support yourself in the meantime? Because this isn't something that happens overnight. This is a transformation. It took me 120 days to get to this place with this liquid diet, and honestly, it's taken me over 12 years to get to where I'm at in terms of my spiritual path. But it doesn't have to be like that for you. It can be quicker because there is support available. However, in the meantime, where you're at and where you want to go, in the meantime, what are you doing to support yourself, to hold yourself accountable, and to move forward a little bit each day? even if you have to move backwards, you never give up and you keep moving forwards. So I invite you to take the time tonight to reflect upon that. If you're interested in chatting with me, go to my website. I'll put the link below. Book a call with me. I'll set time apart to chat with you with no expectation, with no obligation, truly coming from this heart space that I want to share with you and holding space for you as I listen to where you're at and what your struggles are. And if I can help you, I will help you and I will tell you how. And if I can't, I'll do my best to still help you in a way that makes sense for you and that makes sense for your home and your family. So I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you, Adri. Thank you, Mary Rose. It's so nice to see you guys here. And everyone else who's watching later, please, please, please feel free to send me some feedback, to respond if this resonates with you, and definitely book a call because I would love to spend the time to chat with you. And Adri, also, I have you in my prayers, and I hope that your baby is doing really, really good. I missed you tonight in class, but I hope I'll see you soon. Satnam, take care.